Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while. I haven't been on YouTube, but I have been well. We've been all well, been busy. Also, I was away as well for a couple of days, or most of last week, for my brother's stag do. So shout out to my brother. He's getting married next month. Went to Ibiza, had a great time out there, 14 of us. So yeah, it was crazy. But guys, we are back. So where are we today? We are on an extension that I showed you guys a couple, let's say 2 months back now, where I had talked about party wall agreements and stuff. So guys, I'm going to sit down. It is so hot and I am shattered. So yes, we were talking about party wall agreements at this building where we were having some issues with party walls on one side of the building. So it's a terrace property, so you've got neighbors either side. And for those who don't know, who are looking into doing extensions, very important part of your planning for extensions is to make sure you have a party wall agreement with even neighbors. 99.9% of the time, if you're building an extension, you're going to need a party wall agreement with whatever neighbors are either side of you. So one of the main features of a party wall agreement are to do with excavating foundations. So as you can imagine, if you're digging and excavating foundations near to someone else's foundations, i.e. a terraced, even a detached property that may be very close to yours, some of the works that you're doing could possibly affect foundations of the neighboring house. So there has to be some sort of document or contract that discusses what's remedial actions would be taking place if something was to happen. Also, surveyors reports are produced, which basically essentially looks at the neighbors' properties and the condition of the property before you start the work. They take photographs and stuff like that, inside and outside, inside if possible. If there's obviously any issues that come up with the neighbors' properties as a result of the property that you're building, then there's at least some documentation. And it also protects us, the builder. You know, someone could come tomorrow and say, oh, there's all these cracks on our wall, this is because of the work that you did. Meanwhile, those cracks could have already been there, so we get to document those things. There's other things as well, like working hours agreements and noises and fences and cleaning up of any debris in the neighbors and stuff like that. So basically, most cases, like on the neighbor to the left of us, I would say the left where I'm sitting, we had party walls agreed and drafted up. She's actually an architect, so she had her extension done. She approached us for a party wall agreement before we even started this side. So that was set up at the same time. We actually ended up having structural engineers do both drawings, and actually we sharing the foundations on our party wall. So that works quite smoothly and saved everybody money. Now on the other side, we've had a lot of problems, and this is where it's important to know what rules apply to what things and what things mean. So we've had the planning approval passed for this property. There was no problems. There wasn't even any of the neighbors who brought up any objections or anything, including the neighbor that's been giving us problems. Nothing was brought up. Everything went through. When we're about to start the work and we served the party wall notice, they basically have been ignoring it for months and months, wouldn't get back to us. And then in the end, I said to the client, look, you just have to pay for a lawyer to serve them the documents yourself, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. And if we keep going on this, we're going to run out of time as far as when the build's supposed to start for planning permission purposes. So anyway, finally we get a response to the lawyers that basically this neighbor wants all these unrealistic expectations. They want to be relocated at our expense because we're doing the work and it's going to disturb them, even though they're not even at home in the day. They didn't want the size of the extension to be there, although the extension had already been approved by planning. So essentially the lawyer said, look, all the things you brought up have got nothing to do with party wall agreements, and basically it's not really anything can be done. The job's going to go ahead. So they didn't play ball, unfortunately, which meant further stages had to be moved onto stage 1, stage 2. So my customer in the end had to spend about £3,000 to appoint lawyer on her side. And unfortunately, when you're doing building work, if your other neighbour's not playing ball, you will have to pay for their lawyer as well. And then essentially we had to pay for a mediator, so we had to pay for 3 lawyers to take things through. So thankfully we finally got everything through, which was really just a formality, so it was just a waste of money in the end. This could have just been done informally quite easily, but nevertheless it's all been done. So we've got our party walls on both sides and we've able to start the work. So guys have started, they actually had started doing some digging a few weeks back, and we stopped at a certain point where we were 3 meters away from the other neighbours. So until we had the party wall agreement, I didn't want any excavations to be done from 3 meters away, so we stopped there. Some of the excavating and concrete work had already been done by the previous builders who did next doors. As I said, we're sharing some foundation. I'll show you guys that in a minute. But we are here now and continuing the excavation from where we had stopped, and now we're going towards the neighbour where we've been having the problems. So we've been doing that. We've also been clearing out some backfilling that the other builders had done, where they've just made the area safe where they put the foundations for us. So we've had, unfortunately, got bags and bags of gravels that we had to dig back out so we can reveal the foundations that's there. So it looks like all's good to go there. So yeah, basically we're just on the digging, loads of foundations. This is a 6 meter extension, sort of 6 meters deep by roughly about 5 to 6 meters wide. So it's quite big in that sense. You can imagine the size of the trenches. We're going to be doing block and beam foundation on this one, so something different we haven't had on the channel, so that'll be interesting to show. But yeah, we're just at the digging stages, so it's going to be digging for a couple of days. This is day 2, so I'll show you what we've done so far. I reckon about 5 days of digging, and we should be good, because it's all done by hand. Access is terrible. There's no access at the back. Access through the house is difficult, so you know, we can't get a digger in and everything, so it's all done by hand. All the soil is going to have to be shifted through the house with buckets to skips in the front, so it's just one of those ones. But we're on it now. Well, let me show you guys what we've done so far, and maybe I'll explain a little about the process moving forward. All right guys, so here we are. So let me start here first. So you guys might remember, this is the next door neighbor who has built their extension, and we're working in conjunction with them. They have actually already created the party wall, which is this wall here. You guys might see that we've got wall ties in the wall here, every 2 courses. They've put a DPC in here as well. They've also got this membrane, because their floor level, I've realized, is actually lower down than ours. And what it looks like is, from their main house, they step down into their kitchen. So their kitchen, you might be able to see from here, where you've got those red bricks. Notice where the red bricks are here, and then they've got these bricks. So their floor levels, I think, the level of the second yellow brick. So all this area where our DPC here is above their floor. So I think they put that in there as a barrier. That's what I'm guessing their builder's done. So what we've got is, when they had poured the foundations, they poured our foundation as well. So they've poured like up to here. We've actually got the drains going through here, so it looks like they've poured this pad here for us, and then also they've poured from that side of the chamber down to the end here. Again, I'll see if I can show you guys a bit closer. So we've got concrete poured here, 1 meter deep. Okay, now we've started digging, continuing down from here. We've got to open this one out a little bit. This is the first set of digging the guys did a couple of weeks ago. They dug here and up to here where Flash is now, and now we're continuing going across that way. Let's see what we can see here. So this is what's dug today, and basically we started digging from here all the way up to down to the back here, and when we get to here, we are then going to be returning all the way up to the house. So we've got 6 meters to go that way. So yeah, basically a lot of digging. If all these bags you can see here, these are all pea shingles, 10mm pea shingle that we took. So when they done the digging here, obviously to make it safe, they've just filled all this with pea shingle. They actually had rebuilt the patio wall here, a little bit of the wall here. They'd rebuilt it to contain it. We broke that wall out and they'd fill this up with pea shingle. We've actually dug out, if you guys can see here, 30 bags of pea shingle. That's what we've dug out here. So all that was inside here. So at least this is all cleared out now and the foundations are here. So once we are ready to pour down there, we will put some rebar into the wall here to tie in with that existing one. We've only got one single skin wall to build on the inside. And when we get to the end of their house, we've got to do the outer skin, which will be matching with the neighbor's brickwork. I'll show you guys what theirs looks like. Sing for them, Flash, sing for them. So here's the neighbors there, you can see the extension. So we will be building onto the end of their wall, which will be, is it the end of the wall or slightly in? We've got to move that fence over. It's just being sort of staggered off to our side at the moment. It's not straight, so you've got to move in a little bit. Then we'll be tying our brick wall into their wall, and then we'll obviously have a cavity, and then we'll have our inner wall, and that's pretty much what we've got to do. So yeah, we've also, almost forgot, we've also got a trench to dig in the middle, center all the way down. We're gonna have a sort of like a sleeper wall, I guess you call it, in the middle, and that's going to be used to lay our block and beam foundation. So we'll have the beams running from the middle to the left and then from the middle to the right, and then we'll fill it with blocks. So that's basically how that's going to be built. But we've got a lot of brickwork to do below DPC, which is going to be quite high out the ground. Then we're going to build steps down to the garden again later on. Hey guys, and that's pretty much it for today. So yeah, just digging. Tomorrow's probably going to be the salt digging session again. I won't be here tomorrow, but it's just going to be digging again. So we'll probably finish off whatever is to finish on that trench and start digging the last 6 meter trench back. So we'll have Kenneth with us tomorrow, so it'll just be a lot of digging. And then after the digging, we've got to clear all this stuff out the house, loads more of that again to shift everything, and then we can start digging the trenches for the drainage. We've got to move the manhole out of the extension, so but we just need to clear all this soil first, and then we can start doing the trench for the manhole, because this soil's in the way at the moment of where our manhole and trench is going to be, and we don't have a lot of space in this garden. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. So guys, I'm off. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Obviously I will be showing you guys through this project as we go along, and until the next one, we'll see you soon. Take care and thanks for watching.